Hi guys, how you doing? My name is Crystal. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm at my home in Rochester, Kent. This is Rochester, and I'm here in my flat at 5:36 just gone PM. I'm in my flat by myself with my dog Max and my cat Harry. Good afternoon. And I am really just doing vlogs about neighbour harassment, antisocial behaviour, and how it's left to escalate when no one intervenes or helps. And I'm still here on my own, bracing up for one of these weekends where it's going to be shitty. So, did I show you my post? Yeah, I showed you my post, didn't I? I've not had any packages at all, so I've not had any packages in the mail. I'm expecting a pair of silver like drop earrings, ladies earrings, and that's about it. It's a struggle, but we keep going whatever happens. So I was not going to go out this afternoon. It was too sunny. I don't like it when the sun's shining directly in my face, so I left it. So by chance I went over to the window just to check what the weather was like. It was getting on for 3 PM and I noticed my neighbour's car outside my window. So I basically waited. The neighbour came in and went out in his car. Went downstairs, noticed two small grey packages on the floor, and of course if people leave parcels on the floor you're going to see whose name's on it. So I saw it was for the neighbour and I left them on the floor. So I just thought, right, why hasn't the neighbour picked his parcels up? Walked out of the block of flats and started walking up towards the fields, and I just walked slowly with my head held up high. I've done nothing wrong. Why should somebody be harassed and bullied and put up with it? So I carried on walking up towards the field, turned round the corner, walked onto the field, and it was quiet apart from one man standing on the steps where the boat docks. So there's silver steps and the Jetstream's tour boat stops there. So basically there was a man sat on those silver steps. That's the only person I really saw. And I was walking around the field happy. I was vlogging, I was carrying my phone. My phone rang and I took a phone call. Whilst I was taking the phone call, a couple were walking towards me with a loose brown dog, and I have obviously not had that kind of trouble for a while. So there was a brown dog coming towards me as I was on the phone to somebody. So I turned around and walked up away from the dog because I was talking on the phone and I could have got distracted. It was an incident where I needed to call the police, not the dog, but what I was talking about on the phone was something I needed to quite urgently contact the police about because it was a breach of my privacy. So I've obviously contacted the police when I got home. So I was walking around the field with a phone talking to somebody on the phone, a real person. And I started walking towards Costa Coffee, turned around the corner, and obviously it's a time that I don't usually go outside. I haven't got children that I pick up from school, so it's busy, isn't it, between 3 and 4 when kids are coming home from school. It's a time I don't usually go outside. So I started walking towards my property, and my neighbour did a turn with his car facing towards me. So the car turned and was facing in my direction, and then it turned and drove off as I was coming into the building. And basically didn't have to face my neighbour face to face, but he was in his car, which was quite awkward. Got into the flats, the 2 parcel for him had gone, and there was another neighbour in the hallway. My next door neighbour, directly next to me, was in the hallway with her son, and they were going into the lift, and I waited for them to go into the lift, and I went up the stairs into my flat, right? So 2 sets of neighbours were around me when I was coming back from a walk with Max. 2 sets of neighbours were in my vicinity when I came back from a walk with Max. So I came into my flat. I immediately got on the phone to 101, and an incident of doxing and spreading malicious communications has been sent to the police, and I've also been told to report it to the housing as well. So it's getting reported to the housing next week. So it's been reported to the police, doxing and malicious communication. Right? So a police officer is going to get back in touch with me at some point. The police. It's malicious communications against myself. Trying to spread rumours and lies and things that aren't quite right to try and discredit me and cause trouble within the people that I know. A bit like Tattle Life, but a bit like what they were doing, right? So I got off the phone to the police, and he hadn't been in upstairs for hours, and it was so quiet, and I couldn't believe it, and I knew it wasn't going to last. I absolutely knew that it wasn't going to last. I knew. So I sat down, guys, and I'm keeping a journal of what's going on upstairs and with the neighbours and the harassment, in case I need to make urgent phone calls to the police over the weekend, because Hyde Housing is not available over the weekend, but the police work 24/7. So if there's incidents in the morning, afternoon, night, you can contact the police for help and support. And the lady at the police desk said if you have any more trouble from them, to call them. So basically, where did we get to? So I went out this afternoon at 3 p.m. ish, just after my neighbour had come home briefly and gone back out again. 2 small grey packages were on the floor for him, and then we had quite a loud slamming from next door at 5:25 p.m. and I said I had a few minutes peace and was watching a Netflix film called Disturbia. Now it's being disrupted. Noise from up there and that way, after I had a call on the field around 3:15 p.m. So it's been reported to the police. That's what we've got up to there. So it's still ongoing because they're not sorting it out. The neighbours think that they can still carry on with their harassment, basically. So I've got to walk in and out of the building and put up with it, and it's very awkward, it's very distressing. The account that's been spreading rumours has been reported to the police, as the person who's left a name has been reported to the police as well. And if they keep doing it, every account that they do it with is going to be sent to the police. I mean, how they contacted the person that they contacted, I don't know where they got their details from, because I've not divulged any personal information about them across social media. So where did they get that person's information from to send information about me to them? Which is quite distressing. So we're at the point now where we're on tenterhooks, never knowing when this noise is going to start up again, if I'm going to get any peace, because I've been distracted from my film and I was enjoying it. I've lost track of where I was. I'm aware of footsteps on the ceiling that bend on the ceiling. It's a house fault, it's a building fault as well. You shouldn't be able to hear footsteps on the ceiling and the noise that I'm hearing. You shouldn't be able to hear some of it. It's a fault with the design. But a lot of it is deliberate, and it's continued to be reported. I will not be silenced. I will not, I was called on the field while I was making a video. I'm sorry. I was making a video when I was interrupted. So it's every time I'm relaxed, I'm being interrupted, my peace is broken, and I want to know who is instigating this and it to stop, because it's every time I try and relax after being wound up, something starts up again. I was just watching a film, minding my own business. When I was outside, I was walking my dog, minding my own business. And then this dog comes towards me, and I'm like, oh my God, no, don't start this again. Do you know what I mean? It's like a film. It's like I'm walking out of a scene in a movie. Because when I was walking up to the field, a Deliveroo driver drives on the bloody pavement towards me. Deliveroo driver driving on the pavement towards me in a bike with a helmet. Is that really necessary to drive on the pavement? And I believe I captured him. I don't know if I captured him doing it or not, because I was filming as I was going outside, but it doesn't feel real for a motorbike to drive on the pavement towards you as you're walking on the bloody pavement. What the hell's going on here? So this is why I take the camera out. You just don't believe what's going on. You're on a pavement walking, and a motorbike drives at you with a helmet over his head. I've had no packages. I've had those 2 items of mail addressed to me, C. Marshall. My surname is Marshall, and I make no bones about that. Why should I hide that fact? So my first initial is C. I've had no parcels. Things are tight. I've spoken to my mother before they returned upstairs. I spoke to my mother, who sounded a bit better this afternoon, and she was talking about my father Derek. And now I've been distracted from my film, and I'm just walking around like it's been for the past 5 years on tenterhooks, wondering when noise is going to happen. This is the way it is. I'm not a nasty person. I'm just explaining my life and the way it is, how it feels like a TV scene every time I go outside my flat with vehicles driving on the pavement towards me. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to make myself a drink, and I'm not going to stop until someone does something, because what's going on is not fair to me. See you later.